So I want to go over this makeup look. There's so many things I could call it, but I think it's just a very like lived in toasty makeup look. So let's get into it. I'm not a fan of like glowy bronzing drops, but I feel like this is just the most beautiful pearly glow. So you could mix this into your foundation, or you could just go straight onto your skin with it like I'm doing today. I kind of want this to be more of like a no foundation makeup look. I want to just rely on color correcting and concealing. It's just like, oh my god, it is so beautiful. I'm gonna take a mix of my color corrector and my Haus concealer. This is from the brand Catrice Cosmetics. I love my Kosas color corrector, but something about this one, I really love it. I'm just gonna place that under my eyes. I'm like a little sick, so been struggling to sleep, so I desperately need this and any redness on my face. This brush, this is from vacay Cosmetics. It's the A506 and it's a collab with Angie Hot and Flashy. I love that name. It is the best brush in the entire world. My concealer game has just completely leveled up since I got this. My aunt put me on this. My aunt puts me on a lot of things, and it's like her tool game is crazy. And then I'm gonna go in with my Haus concealer. The texture of this concealer is almost like it's like whipped and creamy. I just feel like when it blends out, because of that consistency, it's not like liquidy or it's not too creamy. It just feels like skin. And whatever's left over on the brush, I'm gonna start taking that on my eyelid just to start priming it. Bronzer, we're not gonna skimp out on. I've like been rediscovering my obsession for the Merit bronzer. I've only got that much left. It's a very dewy bronzer. Again, like lived in, I'm trying to look a little more dewy, a little more like I've been running around. So I'm gonna take my Mario F4 brush. I'm gonna start up here on my temples, my forehead, and then start to bring it to where the sun would naturally hit me. So my cheeks right here. I'm gonna take it down the bridge of my nose, my jawline. It's like pretty much where I would be placing my blush, because I want my cheeks to look really sun-kissed. And then once I'm happy with how that's blending, I take the little chunkier side of the brush and buff out the edges. So I kind of like to do this little W shape like this right here, but for my nose, since I don't like to cut it off and like make it look short, I like to keep elongating it because I feel like that contours my nose. It's more of like a forward bronze instead of like out here. Like the bronze isn't really happening on your face, like at your cheekbones. It's more like on your cheeks and your nose. So I like to keep it like right here. I'm moving to blush. This color palette is very like rustic and earthy. I feel like this shade from Merit is so perfect. It's in the shade Fox. And again, it's very like balmy consistency. I'm gonna pick it up with this brush. Think of that like forward mindset of we're gonna keep it right here on the cheeks and trail it over the nose, just where you would naturally burn a little bit. I'm gonna round it out a little bit more because we have another color coming. I just always like to take my blush on my forehead, my chin. Sometimes I do like to take my blush just at the tip of my nose because I feel like it creates a really cute little contour. I do this in a couple layers. Like I'll keep putting things at the tip of my nose just because I like contouring it. And that second shade I was talking about is this NARS blush. This is my favorite red shade. I love it so much. Sometimes a red blush is very daunting because you don't want to look like clowny, but you have to find the undertone that's right for you. And same thing, I'm going to take it on this brush. I'm going to concentrate that right where we're really like prone to burning. So it's like right here in the cheeks. I'm gonna take it down the bridge of the nose. Again, I'm gonna do my little, I like to take it down here too as like a flush so that not everything is so lifted. Like I just want it to be a little bit messy. Now is when I'm gonna take my setting powder. I'm first gonna take my Hourglass pressed setting powder on this brush, little fluffy brush. This is the Mario F2 brush. In the areas I don't want that excessive shine, so under my eye, forehead, like usually this little area right here, I get very shiny. And then with my loose powder, I'm now gonna take this. I'm gonna get my little powder puff, tap off the excess, and this is gonna go under the eye. I really like to carve my nose here, kind of drag it here to kind of reverse contour, and then I'm really gonna press under my eye. Whatever's left over, I'm gonna take on my forehead and my chin. Okay, we'll be back to face, but I want to jump to eyes because I'm so excited about this palette. This is the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes Nature palette, and this is like a brown hair, like brown eye girl's dream. First, we're gonna tightline Stila eyeliner in the shade, ooh, saucy. I'm gonna tightline my upper lash line first, tucking that right here in my little inner corner. I feel like specifically with brown eyes, I mean eyes in general, I think like when you do eye makeup, it looks so beautiful when you work with the colors of your natural eye and just try to drag that out. My eyes specifically have a bit of like a warmer brown shade and like touches of I don't know what that color is. Maybe like a yellowy brown. So I really want to play into that. Yeah, let's just do this. Take this neutral shade, pat this down all over my eye because we had that concealer from earlier. So I just want to make sure this is nice and set. To shape my eye a bit, I'm going to take this tan shade. I'm actually going to mix it with this pinky shade. Yeah, that's prettier. Kind of create this like mauve-y nude. I'm gonna start running that from my crease to my inner corner right here. I love to pull it out because I love like a... And since we're here, we might as well drag that under the lower lash line. Now with a little tapered brush like this, I'm gonna pick up this darker brown, like camel nude, like what is that? It's brown. So I'm just gonna take this right here in the very outer corner and use it mainly to just kind of like carve my eye into that shape that I was talking about. Slightly bring it to that crease just to accentuate these shadows. You really just have to work in layers and work slowly when it comes to these kind of shades. To look like part of your face, not so stamped on. To make sure you're still blending everything out, I'm gonna go with that those original 2 shades and just buff that out and incorporate it into the eye. Now moving to darker territory, I'm gonna take this angled brush. I'm gonna pick up the darkest shade in this palette, deep chocolate brown. Stamp this on my lash line all across the very edge of my lash line. And with a little smudgy brush, I'm gonna pick up these 2 shades and just kind of like disrupt that dark line that we just placed there to smoke it out. And look at the difference it made. It's just more like sultry, lived in, like our keywords. Then, I promise we're almost done. To make that darkness pop, I like to go back in with that original cream shade and highlight my lid as well as the brow bone, of course, the inner corner. I love that this palette doesn't give you like a really stark, bright shade to work with. It's just this really pretty like vanilla shade. There I go again with making like Pinterest words, like aesthetic words for everything. I'm like, it's vanilla shadow. Yeah, well, it's like a vanilla. So it keeps you from adding too much of like a brightness that will disrupt this like warmth that we have going on. For the lash line, I almost always do a burgundy shade like this, which we could do. Or we could do green. I'm gonna trail it under my eye. This shade is really pretty, but I feel like it's too sparkly, so I have this eyeshadow stick from Ilia in the shade Patina. It's this gorgeous green, so I'm gonna use that instead. Wow. What the heck? So I'm gonna curl lashes. I'm gonna take the YSL Lash Clash in the brown shade. Okay, back to face. We're almost done. I'm gonna take my Westman Atelier bronzer. So I'm taking that bronzer basically everywhere, just kind of where we had that cream bronzer from before. I do feel like I'm missing a bit of like a warm champagne glow. This is like my perfect final touch product for any makeup look. Like it pulls everything together. I'm gonna go in with my fake freckles. Favorite way to make them look super natural is by trailing them up to this little part right here. For lips, I can't stress enough, like if you don't have these 3 shades, you have to. We're gonna use this shade for contouring. This is Endless Cacao. This is amazing for like a little contoured lip on that little border of my lip, and I smudge it with my finger. Super, super simple. And I kind of just keep it in like the top and bottom part. I don't really take it to the corners because it can look kind of odd. Next, I'm taking my favorite Wherever Walnut. This is like the perfect neutral pink. I'm just gonna use that to shade in and slightly line. And you could stop here, but if you want to deepen it up, that's when I take my Limitless Brown. This is just like my favorite trio. I'll smudge that with my finger. The leftover back onto the tip of the nose. Lastly, to really tie it all together, that red blush from before, I'm gonna take on the very center. You can use like any red shade for this. And that is my completed look. I love makeup looks like this. I feel like it's still me, just like elevated and little sultry, little toasty. I love it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Let me know what you think. If you have any other makeup looks you want me to do, just drop a comment. See you guys next time. Bye.